Guys, the worst is about to happen. We think we've seen it all with this regime of the orange man, but the worst is about to happen. Hey, welcome back to the channel. I don't know if you guys have literally seen these particular clips or this video or this new regime update. They love to update us every single now and then. Credits to the original creators of every single clip. Just watch this video from beginning to the end and let me know what you think. Okay, let's just go watch before I say any other thing I want to say at the end of this video. Because honestly, when I saw this particular update, I was like, what is this orange man turning America into? Let's go watch. I'll be back with commentaries.
I thought this shit was fake. But they are really trapping us for real. Well, y'all might want to grab your coffee for this one. And you might want to spike it. Y'all beat this shit. Let me grab my cup real quick and then we're gonna get into it. What the hell? I say, what the hell? So I actually sat down and did what a lot of Americans refuse to do, and that's actually read through this shit. I read through this, and what this pretty much is, if you are against anything on the right, if you are against the Republicans, you are against the fucking the administration, you against WIG and all this other bullshit. If you try to leave, you are trapped. You cannot leave. This is exactly what the hell this is when you actually sit down and read the shit. So to all of those people that be commenting, well, if you don't like America, why don't you leave? Okay, I'm trying to. But now this motherfucker done made it abundantly hard to fucking do it. Because who's to say, and it's funny how they saying the far left is a terrorist group and all this other bullshit, right? So you mean to tell me the ones that believe in humanity are considered the terrorist groups? Can y'all make that the fuck make sense? Okay, so yeah. So when we try to leave, we can't. And then as far as this little terrorist list that everybody keep talking about, everybody keep thinking like, oh, I think I'm on the terrorist group list and everything like that because of the following that I have and shit like that. Like, I've seen people post up about this shit, being honest with y'all. I would not be surprised if I saw my name on that shit. So, but me, shit, I don't give a fuck, bitch. I'm leaving this country regardless to what the hell these motherfuckers gotta say. The hell? Because what you not gonna sit here and do is stop me from leaving a country that I no longer want to be in. And then that also circles back to this little goofy ass shit that was passed last year. Now, for those of y'all who don't know what Antifa means anti-fascist. So is it majority of this country against this fascist ass shit? Executive order right there. So with that being said, to the next motherfucker that tell me, oh, well, if you don't like America, why don't you just leave? Because your goofy ass fucking leader done made it hard for me to leave now. Thanks. But it's alright though, because guess what? I'm still leaving this bitch. I don't give a fuck what anybody has to fucking say. If I want to leave, I have that freedom to do so. And then on top of that shit, oh, I understand the real reason why they did this shit. The real reason? Do y'all know how many Americans are moving abroad and are living their best lives right now? Let me say this one more time for the people in the back, honey. Do you know how many Americans done moved abroad and are living their best lives. And the crazy part about it is those videos are going viral. And that is terrifying the United States of bullshit. Hence the reason why they came out with this goofy ass shit. Too many Americans was leaving. And then there were too many Americans like me planning to fucking leave this bitch. That's why this came out in order. And if you do not believe me, I want y'all to go onto Instagram. And why I want y'all to look up this Instagram page called Moving Abroad 22. Yep, I think it's Moving Abroad 22. Look at all them damn videos if you don't believe me. Because, like I said, baby, oh, they watching. They watching. Come on now. And I know they probably looking at my shit talking about some, oh, this motherfucker video, you think she about to leave? Huh? Put her ass on the list. Bitch, I don't give a fuck, honey. I am connected to Mexico. I was already fucking invited to the carne asada. I think I'ma be okay. The fuck? You think I need y'all to get the fuck about this country? The fuck now?
Don't like it here, why don't you move to another country? Isn't an argument that you're allowed to make anymore because the Trump administration is trying to make it illegal for people who disagree with them to leave the country. That's right. Secretary of State Marco Rubio just announced visa restriction policy targeting far-left terrorists and other aligned groups. And what they define as far-left terrorism is anyone who doesn't like fascism.
Last year I was making videos. Remember, if y'all remember, I said right after the World Cup or right after the Olympics, one of the two, because the Olympics is in 2 years. So I'm like, capitalism needs money, right? I said either right after the World Cup or right after the Olympics, the Iron Curtain is going to come down. I said you cannot have a fascist government without people to rule over. If everyone starts running out of America, if everyone starts leaving the country, who the fuck is Trump and his people going to rule over? I said this. Go back to my videos on Facebook. You will not find it on Instagram because Instagram has banned that account, and you won't find it on TikTok because obviously I'm having to create a new TikTok account every 30 days. I made a video. I said, if you can afford it, pack up and get the fuck out because it's going to be impossible to leave. Fascism needs people. Fascism needs... North Korean dictator cannot be North Korean dictator if there's nobody in North Korea to dictate over. They've now towards the end of the World Cup, they've now introduced some shit that's going to deter people. That's going to stop anyone they deem to be an enemy of the state from traveling. What does that mean? Some level of criticism. Who knows what level? I could be at that level. And that's it. Now, you can never leave the United States. Now, there's nowhere to run to. Now, everything you say, everything you do, you're within these walls. We gonna get you. I said it. Some people called me crazy. I said it. Y'all called me crazy. I'm glad we're back to the fascist geopolitics now.
Let's understand this timeline. So this administration classifies far-left extremists and Antifa in the same level pegging as narco-terrorists and Islamist extremists. And Antifa and left-wing terrorism encompasses radical pro-transgender ideology, which just means you think transgender people exist and they're also people. Anti-capitalism, communist, anarchist. They've also recently started going after the democratic socialists. Anything that opposes right-wing ideology. Anything that opposes taking people's human rights. Anything that opposes being a shitty fucking human. Antifa means anti-fascism, which means anybody who has half a fucking working brain cell is probably against fascism. The fuck? And then, this administration unleashes a global campaign to attack far-left extremism. As if that makes any fucking sense, because tell me where you've seen far-left extremism, terrorism, anywhere. They even go so far as to try to bring other countries into this. And then, they issue a visa restriction policy for far left terrorists and other aligned groups. So once again, things that don't exist. And then the State Department issues a worldwide travel warning and says it's because of the escalating war in Iran. As if people who have been paying attention are that fucking stupid. But the problem is enough people aren't paying attention. So a lot of people will just be like, oh yeah, it's because of the war. Yeah, that makes sense. Shit, fair enough. They even classified Antifa as a foreign, not a domestic, a foreign terrorist group. So now anybody who's in this country who they identify as Antifa, because that's a very loose blanket term, because as I said, it doesn't fucking exist, and they've literally not been able to answer questions about who Antifa is every time they're asked. So anybody they classify as Antifa is now not a domestic terrorist, but a foreign terrorist. Which means if you leave the country, you might have problems coming back in, if they don't detain you trying to leave, simply for not agreeing with these ignorant, inbred, tiny-handed I guess it's a good goddamn thing I never plan on going back there. But if you've ever said anything online against any of this bullshit that's going on and you plan on leaving the country for any reason, rethink that thought if you plan on being able to come back. Or if you are afraid of possibly being detained at the airport, rethink that thought. And you thought ICE at the airports was for immigrants. Protect yourself at all times.
Well, if you don't like America, just leave. So you don't try to stay and fix things if you don't like it. So if I don't like how my children are acting today, I'm just going to leave. I don't like to pay my bills. Or that $500, actually $550 interest rate I just got on one card. Just one interest rate for 1 month, one card. I don't like it. So I'm just going to leave it alone. Hope it takes care of itself. Do you see that logic? It's a cop-out. That's all that is. That is a statement to make when you have nothing informative to say. That is something to say just to be a jackass. Something literally a child would say. So when I see grown adults making these statements, it's pitiful. You lack common sense. You lack logic. You lack reasoning. If you don't like what's happening, just leave. Just like back in Germany, right? If they didn't like that, they should just leave. I honestly never knew how many dumb fucking people lived in America until the past year and a half.
Antifa simply means that you are anti-fascism. It's like a movement. It's an ideology. There is no group. So you can't characterize an ideology as a terrorist organization. It's just people who are anti-fascism.
They really don't say really what they support, but what they don't support, I think.
It's the name. They don't want a fascist leader in this country. We now have one who is saying, if you are anti-fascist.
But they're more right.
Donald Trump is saying, if you are anti-fascist, you are now a terrorist organization. I will be able to arrest you at will. That makes him a fascist. If he's arresting people who are against fascism, that's because he's a fascist. You understand this, right?
It's going to take for black people to give up on this country. Okay, now wait, I know that so many black people are going to say, oh, but my ancestors built this country. They put their sweat and tears into this ground. We belong here. This is our divine right to stay here because we did all our ancestors work for us to be here. Listen, hey, our ancestors were kidnapped. They were brought here against their will. Many of them jumped into the ocean before they got here, and I guess they wouldn't be our ancestor because they wouldn't have gotten here. But they did not want to be here is what I'm trying to say. And when they were here, they were forced to build the thing. Yeah, they built it, but not because they wanted to. So why do you feel like that they would want you to be here more than they would want you to leave? Like the ancestors, the original ancestors who were literally were kidnapped and brought on the boat, those ancestors, what do you think they would want? You think they would want you to stay here, or do you think they would want you to go back to the motherland? Go back to their homeland, go back to where they were raised, where they grew up, grow back to understanding their cultural practices, understanding how they practice spirituality. Like, why is that? Why do you not care about those ancestors? Why do you only care about the ones that just most recently were fighting for, civil rights and things? And here's the thing, like, okay, we did all that fighting to get rid of end of slavery, won that. But we really didn't. They're still enslaving black bodies in prisons. They just do it behind bars instead of in fields. They did all that to, you know, then there was sharecropping. I don't know if you guys remember sharecropping right after slavery. It was, you know, you can work for the land, which was just another version of slavery. And then they ended sharecropping, and then they had the whole civil rights. You guys, you can't drink here, you can't sit here, you come in this restaurant, and we all the you know, what they did, the picnics, and all of the stuff they did there, and we had to fight to get that taken care of. And then after they got rid of civil rights, they did redlining to ensure we couldn't get financial help to get homes, so that we didn't have, you know, first of all, they never gave us our 40 acres and a mule after slavery, and they promised we would get that. Never got that. They're never going to give us reparations. They never can give us reparations, because if they gave us what they owed us, they would have to give us the entire country, which they're not going to do. Okay, so then after civil rights was over, they did redlining, and then after redlining, they did the credit system. Then they did the education system. They put a tuition, like, and then again, till this day, they have the school to prison pipeline. Like, they have every step of the way, they have put something in place to stop Black economic growth. And they're like, whenever we said, okay, forget all your systems, we'll build our Black Wall Street, we'll build our Rosewood, we'll build Atlanta. And what do they did? Burn down Black Wall Street, dismantle Rosewood, and now they just built that the biggest police training facility in all of America right beside Atlanta. Y'all think that's a coincidence? No, like no matter what we do, they are going to figure out a way to stop us from being successful in this country, because we do not have the political power in this country. We can try to get economic power. We can try to use our power in any way I can, but they're going to put psychological factors in front of us. They're going to put out propaganda in the media. They're going to do whatever they can to keep us down. And it's not like we know racism is expensive. Like, if they actually let Black people thrive and uplift and gave us opportunities, we need, this country would flourish. But they don't care about, they care about money. That is like one aspect of it. But the other aspect of it is white supremacy. Like, they love, they enjoy, they feed off of feeling superior to the Black race. Like, they have no sense of self-worth without having that hierarchy and without having Black people on the bottom of that hierarchy. So there will never be a time and there has never been a time in American history, and there will never be a time going forward that Black people will truly be free in this country. So why don't we just give it up? Give it up. Let it go. Like Africa, I was recently, like, on one of my lives, I was looking through but almost every country in Africa, and almost every country in Africa has a beautiful city that we could live in. Nairobi, beautiful. Botswana, beautiful. Accra, Ghana, beautiful. Nigeria, obviously beautiful. Like, sure, they have corrupt governments, but who doesn't at this point? I'm just saying, like, who don't got a corrupt government? If I'm gonna be in a country with a corrupt government, I'd rather be in a corrupt government full of Black people than a corrupt government full of white people, if I'm being honest. You know, and at least it's cheaper over there, you know? So, I'm leaving as soon as I can, because especially this administration, their goal is to get slavery back. That's their end goal, because what is capitalism, right? Other than getting as much profit as possible for as little expense as possible. And what is cheaper than free? What is cheaper than free labor? I'll wait. And who do they like to do free labor? Who do they want to do the free labor? So, I need all of my Black people to because, like, if all of us got up and left, especially all at once, this country would crumble. Like, it's already crumbling, but they wouldn't be able to use our Black innovation. They would not be able to use our Black bodies to fund their prisons, to fund their slavery systems. They would not be able to use our musical energy to create their music that they end up stealing and turning into their whatever, their whiteness. They would not be able to use our fashion sense. They wouldn't be able to use all of our energy, which they've been harvesting our energy for 400 years, y'all. Our energy, our minds, our spirits, our bodies, literally, they've been using us as extracting resources out of our being as a population for 400 years. They never stopped, and they're never going to stop. We have to go. We have to pack our things and leave. So I think that's it. I just want people need to stop saying my ancestors built this country, so I deserve to be here, or I'm entitled to be here.
One of my favorite sayings from racists is, if you don't like it, leave. If you just don't like it, you should leave. Well, here's the I did. I left bum-ass Texas and moved to Colorado, a much better state with politics that align a lot closer to what I believe in. By no means perfect, but that's also the thing, though, right? It's like, they act like you can't demand better things in your country, your society. Well, at least black people and minorities, of course, right? Because if white people just were prompted or ushered to leave every time they didn't agree with anything, then like there'd be no white people in the country. And that would be okay, since they tend to not understand their entire lineage as immigrants, really colonizers, but, you know, we call them immigrants to cater to their feelings moderately, but they're colonizers. And no, they didn't leave when people asked.
Donald Trump has declared war on anti-fascists and the left, calling anyone who associates with these ideologies terrorists, and also stated that he's looking to fix this problem. A lot of what is happening right now mirrors exactly how the Nazi Party came to power in Germany. Let me tell you how. So in 1933, the German Reichstag was set on fire. The Reichstag was essentially parliament. This fire was considered a terrorist attack, and it occurred a month after Hitler was declared Chancellor of Germany. And so immediately the Nazis blamed communists for setting the fire. Elections were a week away and the Nazis did not have majority. So Hitler immediately jumps into action and makes a statement that this is a sign that communists are plotting against the German people and the government. And so the very next day, he goes to the German president and tells him that civil liberties should be suspended for 4 years in order to secure the country against this communist threat and protect the people. What were some of these civil liberties? Freedom of speech, freedom of press, freedom of assembly, and freedom of expression, amongst many others. And so the president ended up granting Hitler's wish. And so, of course, from then, any newspaper that was critical of the Nazi Party was banned. And so following that, the Nazis circulated their own publications, warning citizens that at that very moment, communists were planning to take over Germany through violent means. People would be thrown into poverty, they would lose their homes, and other things that were just blatantly untrue. But this fear-mongering and propaganda caused a lot of German citizens to be okay with the removal of their rights if that meant that they would be safe. And it is no coincidence that the first German concentration camp, Dachau, was open a month later in March 1933. And what a lot of people don't actually know is that Dachau was established to house communists, academics, journalists, and any and everyone who was outspoken and vocal against the Nazi Party. So does all of this sound familiar? Of course, it's the fascist playbook. And Donald Trump and what is happening in the United States is no different. And this is why it's important to know your history.
Anyways, welcome back, guys, and thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys have literally enjoyed every single clip I was able to roll out for you guys. And honestly, if you ask me reason why these people are bringing out some annoying, idiotic policy, I don't know. I don't know. Now, even people that want to go out, they can't go out. Ever since this Orange Man regime started, it has just been from one bad news to another. I'm sorry to say. I'm sorry. That's just been from one backlash to another. That's just been from one tragedy to another. That's just been from one annoying policy to another. That's just the honest truth. Because let's ask ourselves one simple question. What has this regime literally given us? What has this regime, what has it given us? What have we achieved? What have we seen in this regime that will say, oh, okay, oh, this particular one that he did is literally good, is fine, is nice, we love it? What? Just name one thing for me in the comment section. And the fact that some people are not even understanding this yet, the fact that some people still want to argue with black people, the fact that some people are not really inclined to understand what the system is trying to create, what the system is trying to do, and how the system is trying to jeopardize a lot of things, is quite sad. Honestly. Because how can I be a father and I call myself the head of a house, and none of my children can say good about me? There is nobody. See, white people are even crying. They're even crying in this regime more than black people. The people that voted have seen their acts, like they are whooping, they are crying. They are weeping. So sometimes when I see what this man is literally doing, I ask myself, like, to what gain and to what extent? Now it has gotten to that level where A lot of people are now saying they are trapped. You can't even leave anymore. Fascism. Very bad. And they don't want people to say anything. You that want to point out their errors are the ones that they are trapping down, are the ones they want to hold, are the ones they don't want to let go. Sometimes you see what is happening and you ask yourself, is this even clicking? It's not. And every single policy or every single thing this man usually do or does is affecting us as well in African countries. It's affecting us as well. It's that crazy that someone will just stay and not think about, even if you don't even want to think about black people, because black people, Democrats are your problem. Democrats are the issue you have. So even if you don't want to think about those ones, what of the people that literally put you there? And that is why I clap for him, because he is dealing with them more than even the Democrats. Guys, let me know what you think in the comment section. Credits belong to the original creators of every single clips and stitches we have in our today's episode. I want to say a very big thank you to every single one of you liking, commenting, sharing, dropping super thanks. Also join my membership. I do not take you guys for granted. You guys are absolutely the best. And yes, guys, with that being said, with no further ado, I do like I always say in my videos, I'm going to be saying bye and I'll see you guys in my next one. For now, bye guys. I love you guys. Mwah. And stay tuned. Bye.